Hello, how are you? So here is the problem with the New Testament is that it has so many contradictions. One example of this contradiction is the story about the miracle of the pigs. According to the narrative, which is actually the same story, one in Matthew 8 and the other one is in Mark 5, Jesus is going to the other side of the Sea of the Galilee in north of Israel and is meeting a crazy person. In one story it's one, and the other one is it's two people, and those people are possessed by evil spirits, and Jesus basically, by their request, is transform the evil spirit from that people to a flock of pigs, and those flock of pigs they run away, and they basically run all the way, and they fall off a cliff to the Sea of the Galilee, and then afterwards the people of that area ask Jesus not to come back to that area. Okay, so here is the problem. Well, one problem is that it's two different locations for the same miracle. So in Matthew 8, it's the territory of the Gadareans, and in Mark 5, it's the territory of the Gerasenes. Okay, so you cannot do the same miracle in two different places. Now, second problem, okay, is that Gadara is actually maybe 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers away from the Sea of Galilee. It's a city in North Transjordan, okay. About the city of Gerasenes, we don't really know where is that, but we assume that it is referring to Kursi, all right, and that city is actually not so far from the Sea of Galilee. That's true, okay. Now, so another problem is that third problem is, how come there are pigs over there? Aren't they supposed to be Jewish? Okay, now the New Testament doesn't tell you that, okay. So, but if you read Jewish history, then you might assume that he's actually referring to Hellenistic cities in Transjordan that were not Jewish, and this is why it was possible for them to raise pigs, because Jews will never raise pigs, as they are not allowed to eat pigs. Okay, but the New Testament is that doesn't tell you that. Okay, and this is why you cannot understand. You might assume that those are Jews and they are raising pigs. All right, so you won't see what actually the New Testament is trying to conceal. All right, and now another thing, a fourth problem, yeah, is that there is no cliffs in the Sea of the Galilee that you can jump off them and drown deep in the sea. There is nothing like this in the Sea of Galilee. Wherever you go in the Sea of Galilee, you will see that basically wherever you go, there is a beach. It's one of the lowest places in the world. It's a beach, and basically there's no place where there's a cliff coming all the way inside the water, and from there, if you jump, you will drown. And none of that. Okay, no, it's only a beach. So there's no cliff as well. All right, and now another issue is that okay, so now we understand that in both places the same miracle, those are non-Jews. But how come Jesus is helping people which are not Jews? I mean, we have the story in Matthew, and also the story in Mark about the fate of a woman. Basically, where was that? Basically, in the story, he's going to an area of Sidon, Tyre and Sidon, and a Canaanite woman, she asked help, mercy on me, my daughter has a demon in it, and it is a terrible condition. But Jesus did not say a word. He basically saying, I have been sent only for the lost sheep of the people of Israel. So he doesn't want to help her because she's not Jewish, all right? But here he's helping people which are not Jews, okay? So those contradictions are just, I don't know what to get out of that, but it just shows that the New Testament is a story full of basically made up stories that contradict one another, okay? And this is why my conclusion is that the New Testament is definitely not the Word of God, and definitely was not written by Jews from Judea, probably written by Greeks or by Romans, and that tried to appropriate Judaism at some point, but I'm not sure about it. But this definitely was not written by Jews, all right, and definitely not by Jews who lived in Judea or in the area, okay, because they will know. And anyhow, this whole thing about having a story and there's one story contradicting another story, How is that? So this is just, for me, it just sounds crazy. Okay, bye.